Basically, I just want to write a quick function. I want to be able to call something called increase grades, and I want to be able to 77, 55, 44. I want to add 10. Add 10 to each number. And then I want to put it back into a string. So define increase grades. It's going to take, and let's just say these are midterm grades in case you need some story, some context. So maybe your midterm grades were not good, and so I'm giving everybody 10 points back. By the way, that should never happen. So the first thing we have to do is split it, right? Can't use it as numbers. Can't do math inside of a string, so I have to split it. Not a big deal, we're just going to split it. Start with an empty list because we're going to rebuild the list. But now we're going to iterate, which is another way of saying loop through, all elements in the list, but I don't want to change the original grades. They're strings. Grades list is a list of strings, which doesn't help me at all. So I actually need to take each grade, right? And I add 10. But grade is currently a string. Sorry, that should say grade. This grade is a string because this is a string that was split. So this is going to be, first one's going to be 55 as a string, which means I have to convert it into an integer. Now I can perform math. However, I'm going to leave that there for a second, not even remotely done. I need to return this list back. And we just said you cannot do this with integers, right? We cannot join a list of integers. So I cannot save this as an integer. I have to turn this back into a string. And then I just append it to our empty list. So this is like everything we did today with methods. We split the list, we loop through the list, we grab every grade, turn it to an integer, do a little math, turn it back into a string, append it to the array, and then join it back to get the final string. And let's just do this example real fast. Increase grades equals that. Oops, no, that's not what we do. Let's do x equals that. Increase grades. No, this is not an index. This is the end thing. This is not an index. I'm not using a range. Increase grades is going to return some string with the new grades, and then I'm going to print out the string. And I'm going to call this increase grades. Sorry, I'm rushing because we're out of time, but you can go through it a little bit more on your own later. Let's make sure I didn't make any errors. That's not the right thing to click on. Increase grades is not defined because increase, because I misspelled it, that's why. Let's see, where did I make my mistake? Int somewhere. Invalid literal for int. Line 8, 0, 1, 2. Is there line numbers? So it didn't like that. Make sure that's there. Make sure that didn't have a typo.
I think it's because your string is using semi or colons instead of semicolons.
Oh, I typed it bad, didn't I? Thank you.
No, on line 11, there's a mix.
Yeah, you can't mix it. If you actually have something mixed like that, then you're probably going to have to split it multiple times. There we go. So now we have 55 plus 10, 65, 87. 77 plus 10 is 87. plus 10, plus 10. So there we have the increase. And I don't have time to really go through it all because I'm already way over. But essentially what we did is we took a bunch of strings, right? This is the string 55, string 77, to string 90, string 44. And then when we were done, res was a list of strings, the same list, but now it was everything increased by 10. And I'm throwing different numbers in here. These are not the numbers I did up here, are they? I missed a thing. 55, this would be 65. And 54. And so we took that, we split on the colon, semicolon, and don't mix. And then we looped through, built the new list, and then joined that list, and that increased it to give us this answer.